February 28, 2026. The Supreme Leader of Iran, dead. 27 American military bases, under attack. The world's most important oil route, under threat. In less than 24 hours, everything changed. Hello, this is A-Square Solutions, and today we break down the Iran War of 2026. What happened, why it happened, and what comes next for all of us. Stay till the end, because we have 3 questions for you that could change how you see this conflict.
At 2:30 in the morning on February 28, 2026, United States President Donald Trump appeared in a pre-recorded 8-minute video statement released not from the Oval Office, but quietly posted to Truth Social in the middle of the night. In that statement, Trump declared that the United States and Israel had launched a coordinated military operation against Iran, codenamed Operation Epic Fury. The targets? Iran's nuclear facilities, its ballistic missile infrastructure, and its top leadership. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei killed. Multiple IRGC commanders eliminated. Iran's air defense systems destroyed within the first 90 minutes of the strike. Trump called it, quote, a necessary and decisive operation to protect American interests and eliminate a regime that has sponsored terrorism for 4 decades. This was not a warning shot. This was regime change. For context, Iran had been enriching uranium to 60% purity, just one technical step away from weapons-grade material. And just weeks before this strike, diplomatic negotiations were reportedly going well through Oman's mediation channel. And then everything collapsed.
To understand February 28, 2026, we need to go back. In December of 2025, Iran exploded from within. Massive nationwide protests erupted across the country, fueled by economic collapse, a currency in freefall, and decades of government corruption. The Iranian rial had lost nearly 90% of its value over 10 years. Ordinary Iranians, doctors, teachers, engineers, were struggling to buy basic food. The government's response was brutal. According to Harana, the human rights activists' news agency, between 7,000 and 32,000 protesters were killed, thousands more imprisoned. The regime was surviving, but barely. Internationally, U.S.-Iran nuclear negotiations had been progressing through Oman. Diplomats were cautiously optimistic. But inside Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu had a different calculation entirely. A diplomatic deal meant Iran's survival. A surviving Iran meant a nuclear Iran. And a nuclear Iran, from Israel's perspective, is an existential threat. Intelligence analysts say Israel pushed hard for the strike window and got the green light from Washington. The protests inside Iran may have been the final signal that the regime was weak enough, distracted enough, for a strike to succeed. This was decades in the making.
Iran did not go silently. Within hours of the U.S.-Israel strikes, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, launched a massive retaliatory wave across the Middle East. 27 U.S. military bases were attacked. Missiles were fired at American positions in Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. In Dubai, a missile struck near the Palm Jumeirah area, one of the world's most modern and connected cities, sending panic through its streets and its international airport. In Abu Dhabi, a missile was intercepted, but debris killed 1 person. In Bahrain, the headquarters of the United States Navy's 5th Fleet was directly targeted. America's primary naval command in the Gulf took a direct hit. Iran declared 40 days of national mourning for Supreme Leader Khamenei. Iranian state TV, before it was taken offline by cyber attacks, broadcast one message: every American and Israeli asset in this region is now a legitimate target. The world had entered a new and dangerous phase. The world did not stay silent. The European Union issued an immediate statement calling for maximum restraint from all parties. French President Emmanuel Macron called for an emergency session of the UN Security Council. Russia and China, both permanent members, condemned the strikes as a violation of international law and sovereignty. Pakistan's foreign minister called the strikes deeply concerning and urged immediate de-escalation. Saudi Arabia, Iran's historic rival, stayed conspicuously silent, a silence that speaks louder than any statement. Turkey called for dialogue. India, which imports significant oil from the Gulf region, called for calm and protection of civilian lives. Oil markets responded instantly. Brent crude surged. Stock markets across Asia opened in the red. Gold prices spiked, the classic signal of global fear. At the United Nations, the Emergency Security Council session became a theatrical clash. The US and UK on one side, Russia and China on the other, with the rest of the world watching helplessly. The question everyone is asking is not just, will there be more strikes? The question is, who will be next?
There is one body of water that the entire world depends on, and right now it is under threat. The Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula, just 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. Through this strait passes nearly 20% of the world's entire oil supply, every single day. Saudi oil, UAE oil, Kuwaiti oil, Iraqi oil, Qatari gas, all of it through this one choke point. Iran has threatened a full blockade. If they close the Strait of Hormuz, oil prices will spike to levels not seen since the 1970s energy crisis. Fuel prices globally will explode. Supply chains will collapse. Economies that depend on Gulf energy, India, Pakistan, Japan, South Korea, much of Europe, will be hit immediately and severely. This is not just a military conflict between the United States and Iran. This is a potential economic earthquake for the entire planet. The Strait of Hormuz is the world's jugular vein, and right now, someone has their hand around it.
So, where does the world go from here? Analysts are watching three possible paths. Path 1, rapid ceasefire. China, the EU, and Oman push both sides to the table. A new Iranian leadership emerges, possibly more moderate. A fresh nuclear deal is signed. Oil prices stabilize. The world breathes. This is the best-case scenario, but history tells us it is rarely the one that happens. Path 2, proxy war. No formal ground war, but Hezbollah in Lebanon, Houthi forces in Yemen, and Iranian-backed militias in Iraq continue hitting American and Israeli targets. A slow, grinding, expensive conflict that lasts months, possibly years. The Middle East bleeds quietly while the rest of the world watches. Path 3, full regional escalation. Iran, before its command structure collapses completely, executes one catastrophic strike on Israeli civilians. Israel responds with full military force. Russia and China back Iran diplomatically. NATO is pulled in. We are in territory no one has mapped. Which path do you think we are heading toward? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. Before we close, a quick word about who we are. A-Square Solutions works at the cutting edge of artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things, specifically in the research sector. Events like today, geopolitical conflicts, supply chain disruptions, AI-driven warfare, these are exactly the topics our channel covers. We have playlists on AI breakthroughs, IoT applications in the real world, and geotech analysis just like this video. If you are a researcher, a tech professional, or simply someone who wants to understand the forces shaping our future, subscribe. You belong here. Before you go, I have 3 questions for you. 1. Can Iran's proxy network, Hezbollah, Houthis, Iraqi militias, survive and fight without central command from Tehran? 2. Should India take an official public stance on this conflict or stay neutral? 3. Will AI-driven surveillance and targeting technology permanently change how wars are fought from this point forward? Drop your answers below. The best, most thoughtful answer gets pinned at the top. Hit subscribe, hit the bell. See you in the next one.